probably one of the worst I've seen, just as far as the danger and the homes that are actually getting hit. Most of the time it's just in the mountains and it'll get close, so you evacuate, but it's just so sad seeing that people I know, their houses are being burnt down. So it's one of those situations where it's tough, and I know if we do play in LA, it'll be tough because of the air quality, but regardless, most thing I'm thinking about is the people and my people whose families are having to evacuate, and really it's just sad. So just praying for everybody that's stuck in that situation.
Do you think they should move it?
Whatever's healthy. I'm not really up to school on how healthy it is or not, but regardless, I'm ready to play football wherever. But I know it'll probably be really tough to make it happen just with how close the fires are and having that many people coming into one setting. The traveling, I know the streets are all messed up right now as far as like being blocked off. So logistically it'll probably be tough to play. So I think the smartest thing would be to move the game. But like I said, I'm not an expert on if we should or if it's healthy enough to play or not.
Those two wide receivers so talented. What was kind of your experience last game, and what you kind of gleaned from that?
Yeah, just going against them, we know what type of receivers they have. They have some deep threats, but also talking about Puka and Cooper, just really good receivers and really polished receivers. So knowing that they're going to be perfect on everything that they do with a really good quarterback, so we have to also be really detailed in everything we do, knowing their division of labor of what they like to attack and with who.
What the way this defense has caused turnovers, and we know that when teams usually win the turnover battle, you win.
Right.
How much is that emphasized going into a game like this where it's a winner take all?
Yeah, really every single game, that's like the biggest thing that we emphasize is taking the ball away, because we know that's a direct correlation to wins and losses. But in the playoff football, everything's amplified as far as, all the noise and everything, but it's still a game of football where, turnovers will win you games and giving the ball away will lose you games. But the more you can take the ball away and protect the ball when you have it, that's going to lead you to a victory. So really, with all the noise of the playoffs and everything, yeah, that's cool. But we know at the basis of football, it's all just going to be, can you take the ball away and can you protect it on offense?
How much does playoff experience matter? This locker room's got some guys that played in Super Bowl, some guys this will be their first taste. How much do you think it matters to have the exposure to that?
It matters, but it's not a, end all be all, because everybody you prepare during the week, you're going to play well in the game, no matter how loud the stadium is, no matter how big the stage is, you're still going to go play up to your preparation. So if you do the right things during the week, as far as watching film, studying, putting your extra work in, taking care of yourself, the work is going to show in the week. But experience can't hurt, just knowing how teams like to play and switch things up in the playoffs versus are they staying true to who they are or they're not. But like I said, at the end of the day, you got to go out there and compete and win your one-on-one matchups. That's the square number one.
Along that same line, who's the most unsung hero in this locker room for what's going on here the last 18, 19 weeks? Is there a guy in here that outsiders looking in don't know how important that person is to what you guys have accomplished this year? I know that's a tough one.
That's a super tough one on the spot too. I'd just say recently, for sure, Ivan Pace, somebody that's he's a young guy but always has an impact when he's in a game. We saw him come back recently, and just seeing the type of plays that he makes in the run game and just being able to take the ball away. We saw what he was able to do last time. Then the first time against the Lions also, scooping and scoring. So somehow he's always going to find a way to make a play, whether it's some crazy sack or he's running around, juking some linemen. And he's just one of those guys that just always makes splash plays, and somebody that I appreciate having on the defense.
How do you put the last game behind you guys because it was just so atypical of what this team has done.
Right.
And to get it back to where you were, do you just look at the body of work you did up until that point and say, you know what, we know we're still one of the best teams in this league?
No, I think we look at the last game also and take the good things from it. Okay, we did this well, so we need to keep doing it, but look at the bad things that snowball affected to us giving up the amount of points that we did and to not be able to get the results that we want. You have to use that, and I think the best thing that a good team and a mature team can do is learn from a loss. And it was so easy to really move on from all those wins that we had and maybe brush over some of the bad things that happened. But now with that loss, now we're looking at every single tiny mistake that we made as far as your footwork. For me, every little step I'm really trying to detail down to be perfect so I don't make any mistakes moving forward. And I think those are certain lessons that you can't get from winning, and it's harder to get from winning. So when you lose a game, it's almost a blessing. And obviously as a competitor, you hate to lose. But at the end of the day, if you learn from it, I think you can learn a lot more from a loss than you can from a win.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This team has done so many good things to get to this point, yet last week it didn't come the way you guys wanted. What do you look at? Do you look at the body of work up until that game, or do you look at that Lions game like, man, we got to fix this, that, and this, or where's the confidence in this room right now?
It's accumulation of, throughout the year, you're just constantly building towards something great and, to be a team and to come together at the right time. And, I think a loss like that is something that you can reflect on and just learn from. And it's something that, is going to get, our piss hot, and it's going to make us, put the extra work in and time to, take that next step. So, I think it can be a blessing in disguise, and it's something that we definitely got to learn from and grow from.
Being in that atmosphere where it was as close to a playoff game as possible, how much can that help younger guys that may not have been involved in the playoffs or in a pressure situation like that to say, okay, we now know what this is going to possibly be like?
Yeah, I definitely think it, helps. It gives you a glimpse of kind of what's to come, and that was a big game, and I know it wasn't a win or go home type situation, but it definitely gave us that experience and confidence that we can go out there and just communicate in those, situations. And, we know it's going to be a rowdy group, and we're just, excited that we got the opportunity. It allows us to go back and look at the film and just gain that trust and, just accountability and dependability that we need going forward.
And the last thing for you, just about the Fires, if the game is moved, does it really affect anything for you guys, or is it's a road game, it's a road game, who cares where we go?
Yeah, I think it's, I don't think we can wrap our heads around that or what's going to happen. And, it's just one of those things that, will play you anywhere at any time. And you can't worry too much about the outside noise or just external factors that don't have really too much of an impact on it. So I just got to stay true to who we are. And no matter where the game's being played, we got to be prepared and come out ready.
Awesome. Just about where the mentality is of this team after Sunday, when it was such a build-up.
Yeah.
Everything was there, and you didn't get to bring home what you wanted.
Yeah.
How do you guys turn it around that quick?
New season.
Right back up?
It's a new season. That's behind us. Obviously, we're taking some things with us from that game and from that feeling after the game. Obviously we could have been a lot better on Sunday night, but it's a new season and we understand what's at stake now. Last week wasn't win or go home. It is now. Our season's on the line, and if we had any chance to be good and show up and do the things necessary to win, it's now. So we all understand that we have to be even that much more locked in and that much more detailed on the little things.
Is it kind of helpful for guys that maybe haven't experienced playoffs
For sure.
or a monster game like that, because it was the closest thing to a postseason game that you can play in?
For sure. And to have that the week before, we actually do get into playoffs. You play a playoffs type game. I would say even the Seattle and the Green Bay game were playoff type atmospheres. Seattle being away, their season's on the line. Green Bay, same thing. They were fighting for a lot at the time as well. So we kind of put ourselves in a position where we know what it's going to feel like on Monday night. Now it's just about managing those emotions, those thoughts, and going out and do what we do best, and that's playing good football.
How much could you take from the first encounter with the Rams, or is that too far back in the season?
No, we can take a good amount. They played us a lot different than they play most teams. So, going back and watching that game and then going back to watching the rest of their season, there's things on there that they did, specifically towards us. So, we can get some things, figured out. But obviously, we got a lot more film on Puka and how they've been using him the past couple of weeks. We didn't know too much about it going into the game because he was on IR. But now, being able to see him and see how the offense operates with him at this time is going to be helpful.
And if the game is moved, the road game is a road game.
Yeah, no matter to us. As long as they let us play Monday night, that's all that matters. We'll show up anywhere. We'll show up literally anywhere to play this game. We got one thing on our mind, and that's getting a win.